Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. This week we'll see how to install virt-manager on OSX so we can manage our KVM virtual machines running on a Linux host such as unRAID. Okay, so let's start a little bit about what virt-manager actually is and why we'd want to use it. Okay, so virt-manager, as the name suggests, it lets us manage our KVM virtual machines. For instance, taking one of the virtual machines, we can click on open and then we can start up the VMs, we can shut them down and we can edit the hardware inside. For instance, we can change the CPU allocation, we can change the virtual CPU type, and we can add additional hardware. We can add everything from virtual sound cards to virtual video drivers, and we can pass through our PCI devices. Anyway, this isn't a video about how to use virt-manager, it's just a video on how to install it on OSX. And to install it on OSX we're going to need to use Homebrew, so if you don't already have this installed then please see my 2-minute tips video on how to install Homebrew. And so we don't have to run virt-manager from command line to start it, we're going to make a nice launcher on the toolbar to start it that way. So let's go across to our Mac and start up terminal. Now we'll type in brew search and see if we can find virt-manager in the list of packages available. So let's scroll up and see if it's available. Now as you can see, it isn't a default package that we can use. And we can't see it because we don't have the correct repository enabled in brew. So to look at what ones we've got, we've used the command brew tap. And as you can see here, we've just got the one here, the homebrew core, which is a standard one which ships with brew. So now we're going to add a repository which does have virt-manager. And for this we'll use Jeffery Wildmans repo. So to add that we type brew space tap space Jeffery Wildman / homebrew -virt-manager. So now the repository is added and we can check that by running brew tap again and seeing what's listed. And now you can see we have the homebrew core and the Jeffery Wildman virt-manager repos. And now running brew search again, we can see now that we do have the virt-manager available to install. Right, so we want to install both virt-manager and virt-viewer. So we're going to type brew install virt-manager and virt-viewer. But you can see we've got a problem here, we've got an unsatisfied requirement and we need to install xquartz. So all we need to do is run the command that's listed here, the brew cask install xquartz. So let's copy and paste that. And that will download and install xquartz and you can see it's successfully installed. And now we can run the same command again, we can install virt-manager and it should install successfully. Okay, this will take a few minutes because this part of the video is really sped up quite a lot. Okay, so now let's just clear the screen. And now we'll try and run virt-manager, but we are going to get an error. So to run it we have to type virt-manager space --no -fork. We need to run the no fork, otherwise it crashes when it runs, but that's not the problem that we're actually going to have here. And this is because Python modules have been installed and Homebrew site packages is not in the Python sys path. So all we need to do is just run these commands. First we'll reinstall these two packages. And all these commands of course are in the description so you can copy and paste them from there. So let's just copy and paste these next two. And now with that done we can start virt-manager again. So let's type in virt-manager space --no -fork. And yay, this time we have success. But now we need an icon down here to load it from. We don't have to type in terminal every time to start it up. So let's start up Safari and then paste in this link that I've put in the description. So now I'm just going to download this file from my Dropbox, then open the downloads folder, and here it is. And now in here you'll see there's these two files here. Just to make it easy, let's put them on the desktop. Now let's open terminal, and we probably don't really need to do this, but just to be sure, as we've just downloaded these, let's make sure that they're executable. So let's type chmod and then +x, and then just drag the file into the terminal window, which will put in its location, and press enter. And we're going to do that for both of these files. Okay, so we know they're both executable now, so now we can definitely use these files. So let's go to our applications and open utilities, and we just need to drop these files both into there. One of these files is a script that basically just runs the virt-manager with the no fork, and the other is a file created in Automator which runs the script. So then let's just drag this onto the toolbar, and now we've got a lovely icon there, but when we click on it, it won't quite work yet, but don't worry, it's nearly there. So because the Automator script is from an unidentified developer, we've just got to go to the security settings and allow it to run. So just open up System Preferences and click on Security and Privacy, and if you go down here, just click on Open Anyway and click Open. And again, we've got the same thing again when the script's running, so we just do exactly the same again. Click Open Anyway and click Open, and now virt-manager will run fine. Okay, and so let's just test it out now and just run it again. As you can see, it's working absolutely fine. For you unRAID guys, let's make an edit on our unRAID server so we can access the server from our virt-manager. So let's open a terminal window and then make an SSH connection to our server. And now we want to just paste the line here that's in the description. And now we want to scroll down until we see the listen address here. At the moment it's 127.0.0.1, but we're going to change that, so delete this and replace it with 0.0.0.0. Now press Ctrl O, Enter and Ctrl X to save and exit. Now we need to go to the web UI on the unRAID server, click on Settings, VM Manager, and now we need to disable the VMs, click Apply. Now we see the status is stopped. Now we need to restart it, so click Yes then Apply, and the status is running again, so click Done. So now we can open VM Manager, click on File, then Add Connection, tick here Connect to Remote Host and then choose TCP connection, type in root here and then the IP address of your server and click Connect. And there we have it, there's all the VMs on my server. You can easily make a new VM or edit the existing VMs that you have. Okay, so obviously it's not really that secure connecting with a TCP connection, having edited the file on the server. So if you wanted to connect using SSH and not make the modifications on the server, then send me a PM, because it is possible. It's fairly more complicated than this, so send me a PM and I'll send you some written instructions. So there we have it, virt-manager working on OSX. Now I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you like my work, then any donations are really appreciated, and you can find the link to do so in the description or the top of the channel page. Anyway guys, it's really late here, so I'm off to bed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.